High above sits the no longer dormant North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Wilkesboro. Uh, I forgot the location. In North Carolina. My bad. But BPNR D2 has their solo race here, and it shall play host to the most god-awful race name I ever had to call out loud. It is the Squirt on the Field 100. That is a race title of all time. Whilst qualifying is ongoing, we shall take a look at the point standings. Brandon Carter's not here, so that will leave Colin Teague to continue extending his points lead. Dragons will get third place. Mantis Wells Force not here, but Miguel Rivas, he's fifth place entering this race. I'm hearing in the back of my ear through the TeamSpeak communications the fucking Thomas Troxel crash out of a lifetime. Well, might as well prematurely look at qualifying. Viola has pole. To no one's surprise. Troxel was claiming that the 27 car wall bounced. We'll just have to. Well, I can't actually look because you can't see other people's qualifying laps unless you have their replay. So it's up to Viola if he wants to submit his replay, unless he DQs his lap and just starts dead last. It could be an option. So we got 10 more seconds here. That's why it takes time to apologize for the delay. Just lack of attendees and allow be merciful. Allow the D1 called up every D1 driver that's available, as well as a couple new faces we'll get to boost the attendance for tonight. And yeah, this is now an awkward starting time for sure. So qualifying has been completed. It is Viola who will win pole. Troxel will join him on the front row. Excuse me. Lau and Sebastian Kugelon in row number 2. Then it's Riley Traywick and Jolene Sims, row 3, with Hector Garcia and Dragons, row 4. Gary McGilvey and Colin Teague, row 5, while David Hinks is a final driver to set lap time. He'll be joined by Talal Aziz in the 6th and final row, making this the 12 car grid for tonight's events. So as drivers hit happy hour, well, I already went over the reason for delay, but hopefully we can proceed everything else on schedule. Well, I at least took that time between the initial start time and now to eat dinner, which I would usually wait until after the race to do that, but I find myself the time to do so. So on pole, Willie Viola, he has won yesterday's race at Rockingham and has clinched himself a wildcard spot, so he is guaranteed into the 12-man chase for D1. D2 runs out the full season points, but it doesn't really apply for him since he doesn't compete for points in this division. I believe, yeah, I think Troxel's point about the 27 while bouncing is coming to fruition as we witness him during happy hour. Colin Teague, points leader. He's the only D2 driver to really prove any significance against the D1 competitors. He has won a pole, he's won at least one stage, and he has a race win, and that being at Riki Raceway. So, for them to be leading the points is no shock, as the D1 drivers continue to steal points away from these D2 drivers. Every point is going to matter for those who are prioritizing this division over D1. So, As I mentioned D1, I might as well also mention that because of this weird delay thing, the calling of the D1 drivers to help uh, get the race on the way with a reasonable crowd. Uh, this will not count towards the bushwhacking limitations. The D1 drivers are limited to 3 D2 starts tonight. It will not apply. Mentioning, I think it's like 3 or 4 D2 drivers that would have competed otherwise. So, wait. So, Sebastian Kukulon back in the car in number 16. He, I believe, is a champion in BPNR. So, good to see him back in his famous number 16. And you saw that Joey Logano car. That is David Hanks, who is making his BPNR debut. He didn't have a car ready because he signed up under an hour ago now, so very recent. He has taken his time during the extended practice period to get their ropes ready for his NR2003 adventures. He's riding a livery that a car file that Gustavo Carello had when he attempted to qualify for the Daytona 150, but was unable to do so. And Carello never attempted a D1 race from there, or just any BPNR star for that matter. So, it just so happened that a 22 has opened up, and David Hanks will likely just cruise around. He hasn't been too fast. I did see that he's not over a second off, but it was closer to that off the fastest car in practice and 4/10 off the next car ahead of that 22. So he's got a lot to learn, especially at North Wilkesboro. So shortly, the race shall commence whenever that comes up. So, I guess one final thing I'll say before we go to the race, I just want to appreciate North Wilkesboro as a track. Like, I want to say it's one of those ovals that acts like a road course in a way, similar to Pocono. Like, when you talk oval tracks, the one thing you don't really hear too often is elevation. Because oval tracks are usually put on flat surfaces, so there's no, like, weird slopes or anything apart from the track banking. The track does feature 14 degrees in the turns and 3 degrees in the straightaways, but when you really look at it from a flattish surface, you start to realize there's a lot more character to it than the blind eye may perceive. So, we'll go with Colin Teague here as he completes 3 and 4. The front straightaway is sloped downward, so you got the top hitting, liking your top speed, entering turn 1. Now you're at the bottom, the ground level, I guess, for the track. Then you gotta climb your way back up down the back straightaway. And turn 3, you hit the summit of this track in the apex of 3 and 4. And back down the front straightaway, going back downhill. So the track itself is 370 meters above sea level, but I just love that. It's like you can't carry too much speed into turn 1 or else you get loose, much like you just saw with Dragons there. But you can't get away with punching out the throttle early with 2. We'll continue with Viola. The car will get lights around here at the apex, because that's just typical road course knowledge. Is when you're trying to go from a summit and you're trying to climb back down with a race car, especially with one this heavy, it's very easy to lose the back end and it'll spin out on you at turn 4. So that is one of those things the drivers will have to manage over the course of the race, and that's just what I love about North Wilkesboro. But Spence I hate short tracks and NR2003. I have come to appreciate this one especially. But with that, it is race time. And 12 cars ready to roll off the grid. Get hydrated a little bit before we go. Alright. I suppose they're waiting on me because I'm not gridding, nor do I ever do, especially on this mod. Cry about it. If you're one of the drivers listening.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines have fired, and we are rolling. Might as well get this going. It's going to be 100 laps. The 105 you see on the ticker is for overtime. CTS physics for tonight as private experiments, and overtime as possible. Into the restart zone, being led by Viola and Troxel. We are underway from North Wilkesboro. Viola didn't get a good takeoff like I would imagine. I thought Troxel... Never mind, they're getting a reset. Someone died in the back. Oh my god, they're dead. Sorry without hitting the tire barrels, and Tala just kills him. Colin T goes so upside down along with David Hanks. Deadly Wednesday night in the Appalachian Mountains, I suppose. So while we wait for that reset, I don't know what to do till then. Bro is not him. He is not the world's best backwards driver. He's supposed to are doing burnouts prematurely, celebrating their race win that are probably not gonna get as long as the D1 drivers continue to leech. I'm looking at William Viola specifically. Get this reset. So one reset down, and they'll just continue this until they feel like the race has gone on long enough to not warrant one anymore. Got 10 seconds, so can it be chilling here?
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines have fired once more, rolling off. Got 12 cars taking the green flag. That's the wrong thing. 100 laps, 105 for overtime purposes, CTS physics, and overtime possible. Really quickly into the restart zone, green flag back out, back on the way for North Wilkesboro. And this time Viola got a much better start, able to keep side by side with 1 and 2 with Troxel. And he's gonna keep his nose underneath, get the advantage to 3 and 4. Oh, we got spin in the bag that became Miguel Reese. David Hanks also collected. Dragons. And it's going to be caution this time, so no more resets. Field frozen. It is a short track. Troxel got the lead off that. So, lap 1 caution here in North Carolina. Or not, we can do a reset, but I'll just try to take a look at it before we go. Never mind, I was gonna look at that.
Drivers, to your cars.
Attempt number 3. I'm trying to get this race going. The reason for this reset, the 22 lost 4th gear, so that's another reason why session resets can occur here in BPNR. Yeah, see, early 3 wide moves, it just, I feel like the inexperience of restarts around here is just getting to these back half of the field more noticeably.
Drivers, start your engines.
Third time's a charm. 12 cars sitting and now rolling behind the pace car. And I can pull up again because I feel like it's just being redundant. 100 laps ahead of us. We keep used up 2 resets because people died in the first lap. Shall try this one more time. Green flag. Feel like I better run into able to keep on the bottom of Thomas Chalk. So Kukulon gave me a little bit of a push in the number 1. Having to side up wide. But he's gonna get that straight line speed down the front straightaway. Downhill braking zone into turn 1. But we're able to complete lap 1 this time. A little bit of a RG-bargy, Jolene Sims and Dragons, both of them on the top side. Colin T's gonna get loose. And, oh, it just clips Talent Aziz. And there is the caution, just a little bit of a delay there on the officiating side. So Thomas Fox will lead us to the caution flag. It is Field Frozen, with Kukulon second and Viola third. Starting with the 51 here, labeled as a 510 in game. He gives a little bit of a tap forward to, that was Hector Garcia. And, yeah, I don't, when you're trying to let someone go because you don't want to wreck them, it just really upsets the car if you aren't careful about it. Just the weight shift is too abrupt, I would say. So pit lane open, because at least with those Wilkesboro, it just opens the pits as soon as it can, much like any other track, but with not everyone caught up, I suppose it poses a disadvantage. Troxel wins out the pit lane, Kukulon second, Viola third, and the top 3 remaining unchanged. You gotta be careful around the pit exit. That ball caves in into the apron, so not a lot of room to work with pit exit, especially when side by side. Do have one car staying out, that being Riley Trewick. We saw her try alternate strategies yesterday at Rockingham. It could have worked out for her, but she got collected in a wreck with Harry Crawford, so hopefully bad luck doesn't strike that 97 twice in BPNR. I've been told that tire degradation is high here, so maybe the 97 will fall off a cliff, but that just remains to be seen. Coming up to the choose cone. Is on the front straightaway just past start finish. 97 chooses outside. And down Mills, she will be restarting from. Thomas Truxell next inside. It'll be Kukulon and Viola row 2 with Sims and Dragons row 3. Right. We saw how Troxel was able to keep himself side by side with Viola on the initial start. So, with the 97 being on what is effectively 5-lap old tires, we'll see how this plays out. See if she can establish herself or not. Back on the way, lap 7. Now lap 8. And that did not last long. She already loses touch with the lead. Dragons gets clipped on the outside wall through turn 2. Troxel clears for the race lead. Viola up to second. Jolene Sims having this deja vu moment, stuck behind the 27 car. She is looking to clear Treywick for third place. And 97 just dropping like a rock. Now loses fourth to McGarry, so the call to stay out, while it may not play out favorably to her now, at least she knows that it's a bad idea to stay out on these short tracks with high degradation. But she's going to get a punt by David Inc. But she keeps it straight. The 22 does not. And it's going to be classified 2 cars, so caution flag number 2. Just rookie driver doing rookie mistakes, I suppose. Might be easier if we go on board with the 22 car. And I just threw it in too hot in turn 3. And wrecks the 97. Dreywick's lucky that she kept it straight. I suppose this also works into her favor with needing a quick yellow to revert her poor decision to stay out. But that'll put everyone, almost everyone, back down the pit lane. Got Colin Teague and Hank staying out. And Tala will take 2 tires to win off the pit lane. Gonna be Troxel for second and Viola third. And 22 now into the pit lane. Likely didn't catch that the pit lane was open this previous time, so he's back in. Hasn't been in R for 2.5 years, according to Lau, so he's shaking off the rust in a 22 car. But we do have 1 retirement that being landed now, so he'll just be the off-track admin for today's events. For the remaining, what will be 85 laps when we take the green flag. The Colin Teague stays out this time. It'll be Aziz P2 on 2 tires. Troxel third on 4 tires. Teague chooses inside. It'll be Aziz outside. Third and fourth, choose inside. not necessarily slow cars, but just drivers with alternate strategies that likely gonna get themselves ran over if they aren't careful. But Colin Teague trying to get by number 2 this season in Division 2, he will lead us to the green flag. Maybe Talaziz starting on the front row alongside. Came close to winning Kentucky this season opener for D2, but gonna try this again. Back on the way. 15 laps down. Got 85 more to go. 3 wide move for Troxel. He's on the very inside. Number 1 Toyota back to the lead. Teague sights up in front of his Z's. Well, that 14 car is still side by side with Viola. Trying to look towards the back. That's Dragons giving a door bash to Garcia, and that 78 car spins. So that'll only be a single car. Top 2 have broken off. Teague able to keep second place at minimum. Aziz with those right side fresh tires able to now clear Viola for third, but here comes Jolene. And all while Troxel is checking out, it's helpful that he got by these two of Teague and Aziz quickly, because they're starting to hold up the remaining cars who have taken 4 tires under this most recent caution flag. This track is very difficult to pass. You need the track position, and Troxel has just that. Try to look back here, got Trey wagging to the rear bumper of Kukulon. Doesn't want to wreck him. She finds a door this time, able to get her nose underneath. But that 16 gets a better run out of 4 to defend. That would be 7th place. Troxel opens up to a 1.2 second lead as we have completed 1/5 of this race. Got battle for 4s, got Miguel Reese making moves on Jolene Sims, and he'll get by her through turn 1. The 06 trying to find straight lane speed, but not this time. Kukulon on the outside once more, trying to defend against Treywick. Also trying to get his nose alongside Viola to potentially make a move for 6th. Oh well, Treywick kind of just have nowhere to go on that front, so while 3-way move looks tempting, you just gotta be confident that you can make it work. Teague washes up through 1 and 2 as he's able to close in, but he's got to put up some defensive moves against McGarry's. And that has stalled in the 96, where a good while puts him in the clutches of losing 4th place over to Jolene. Oh, and then just behind them, it'll be the 27 going around, getting tapped by Treywick. Only 1 car. And Jolene getting her nose underneath 96, but not established. Troxel doubling his race lead from the last time we checked in, and just only 5 laps. Good lord. Wait, this man might be cooking. So that is 2nd through 6th place. The group of 5 all within a train. Here comes Aziz looking for a dive bomb on Teague, trying to put those 2 tires to use against Colin Teague, who was at this point closer to 20 laps on his tires. Didn't opt to pit during the caution period. McGarry's looking to follow the 14. So he just gotten clear for what it will be second place. Still side by side for third. And Jolene on the inside having to fight that race car. Saw her out of control at Rockingham in the closing laps because of the tire wear, likely burning up the rear tires. And it looks to be the same case here at North Wilkesboro. And Chaywick overtaking for what will be 5th. Jolene gets this out the corner, opens up the outside door for 97, but unable to pounce on that opportunity. 4 seconds and growing. Troxel continues to lead Aziz P2. And McGilvery's in 3rd, Sims 4th place, Chaywick 5th, Teague in 6th, Kukulon in 7th. Gotta find Viola, who has spun via contact in 8th place. Got a battle for 9th here. This is Hanks versus Dragons. And those are the only 10 cars on track. The 87 Hector Garcia being the second retirement of this race. The 78 chasing at 22 up a hill is really loose. Nearly clears himself, but he's able to get 9th place from David Hanks. Back up front, we got 3 cars nose to tail. McGarry's in 3rd, fending off Jolene Sims and Riley Chaywick. And the 06 is trying to go for an R. It works, but she just loses the back end on exit, losing any advantage she would gain. And right here, she gets on the throttle a lot earlier than the 96 can. And now she can get her nose underneath. 96 gets loose on entry, has to chase it up the hill. And that'll be in exchange for 3rd place. Got 1 car at turn 4 on the outside wall. That's Sebastian Kukulon. Waits for the traffic to clear, and he gets off the racing surface. Tries best to stay out of the way. Now gets lapped by Thomas Troxel. Race leader who has, let's see, 4.9 seconds over Tala Aziz in 2nd place. Got move for 4th. Got Chaywick putting the 96 on the wall. Probably just an accidental movement, but that's one way to get the position. Up next for Troxel the lap, number 22. Just been off the pace. Man, gonna catch him mid-corner. This is the only time, I believe, where that 1 car will be slow, and that's just because the 22 hasn't been keeping pace with the lead group. And catching him in a hurry is Kukulon. He and the 22 on the same lap, and it'll essentially be a fight for the Lucky Dog position. Those two, along with Dragons, who has just pitted recently, are the only lapped cars so far as we complete 40 laps of the scheduled 100. Up the road, there's contact, but the 22 saves it, gets on the apron, and just rejoins his pretty much inserting himself at bat for 2nd, but Kukulon is going to spin again. Jolene Sims forced to take evasive action, is unable to get second place from Talha. And but Jolene just been really unlucky with the lap cars. She lost her race yesterday because of catching Kirsten Bell at an awkward spot, and at least for now, it looks to be a similar case. Got spin-off for. That'll be Karen McElrea's running close to the top 5. And he joins the many others who have self-spun at least once this race. Oh, that's David Hanks on the back straightaway. He's on the apron. And at this point, you might as well come down the pit lane. Here you go. Bog it down to 40 miles per hour here. So while Troxel is starting to lose time now, I could go on spinning, but to finish my thought, while Troxel is losing time to Aziz, now losing 2/10 a lap. The halfway is around the corner, and while the D1 drivers can't get any drivers points, it does help them in the team points. Troxel for Seven Hills All Sport looking to win the stage, get his team 15 points. And second place, Tyler Aziz for Armstrong Racing Incorporated. Gonna get 12, assuming they stay as is. Got Julian Sims closing up. Got Treywick 4th place and Tegan 5th. Down a bit lane 22, back in. I must have gotten black flag. But now comes William Viola. After his contact spin from Treywick, he's looking to pretty much flip this strategy and trying to get himself the time back that he lost. Gary's in. So we went green a lap 16. It would be a one stop. It should be a one stop. Should be. That's assuming you know what you're doing. With the 85 laps, you could stretch it to 42 laps each if you want to. But if you're someone like Jolene Sims or excuse me, if you're someone like Jolene or Talha, maybe trying to undercut and maybe close in on Troxel. But out of 4, Troxel wins this stage. There is no caution, so we will keep going as normal. Aziz B2, Sims in 3rd. Dennis Gugalon getting an abysmal pit stop parking job. Treywick in 4th. She has Viola getting by her. Not family to take revenge this time. And Teague 5th. So those are your top 5. We're already halfway. So back to my point about pit stops, that would mean that these drivers, the leaders, are about to approach their pit window around lap 60 or so. And Gugalon is taking extensive time in the pit lane. Maybe AFK. That's my reasonable bet, because he is rolling ever so slightly. But that does interfere with whoever has the blank pit stall ahead of them, so gotta hope that they don't roll into their pit box. That's Dragons on the outside of turns 3 and 4. He tows it back to the pit lane. Of Dragons reporting that his controller died, so more faithful to the toe back to the pit lane. Meanwhile, Jolene has caught back up to the 14 of his Z's. We saw the lap car interference. Not necessarily a wreck, but enough to where Jolene had to cost herself roughly a second to the 14 car, but these two are closing back in on Troxel. He was at best 4.5 seconds up the road, now is down to 1.7. And that 16 car, after being AFK for a little while, has just left the pit lane. It prompts a Z-Stiff come in, lap 57. So it'll be the first to pounce. And try and get himself to track position. Colin Teague also in. This is lap 57 for him now, so lap before the 14 car came in. And in response to Aziz, Troxel, and Jolene in the pit lane. Same with the 97 of Treywick. And the 51 goes. So is the 14, just with the leader in his rear view mirror. Suppose he's able to cut through the pit stalls, gain himself every ounce of time possible. Going to be 4 tires, easy pick hole there. 97 with a questionable parking job, gonna interfere with Sims just a little bit. Number 1 leaves. Where's the 14? He's only entering 1 now, so maybe get by Jolene, he will, but oh, Troxel's back in, so he got a speeding penalty. What felt like a good race car for Troxel, pulling away in the early parts of the first stint after the caution, most recent caution. He is now out of it. So that means this is effectively the battle for the win, with what will be 40 laps to go across the line. This time, Talaziz 1 lap older tires than Jolene Sims. And Sims looked to make a move on him there, but unable to do so. Trying to get to victory lane this time, as opposed to yesterday. 14 goes wide, allows Sim to get through, but he's going to try to get the straight lane speed, maybe a crossover, but he couldn't get the throttle down at turn 4. So after the drive-through penalty, Troxel emerges 6th place, just ahead of Colin Teague. Both of them at the same lap, got spin. Abby Kukulon once again. This man has just been a pinball machine. Smiley pull away. I'm surprised that Kukulon has the fastest lap given his self spins. I suppose that's the one thing you can do. You be fast and wreck yourself. So he's the only driver in the 22nd bracket at 20.9. Colin Teague second in the fastest lap chart, 21.0. And Troxel third, he led majority laps of this race, 21.15. He said my biggest point of reference with the top 2, Jolene Sims ever so slightly faster than Talha. Both of them in the 1.2 second bracket. Currently running 21.7s. You don't want to use up your tires. And save them for the final laps of the race. David hangs ahead of Jolene. And put him 1 lap down once more. 22 again, trying to stay out of the way, nearly gets clipped by Talha. And he'll be now 3 laps down to the race leader. Kukulon out of the pit lane once again. How long will he go without self-spinning? I give him probably 30 seconds. up the road. Got that car of Dragon staying out of the way for Troxel, but what looked like a momentary battle for 6th place. Gamagawi's got close to Colin Teague, but lost time this time, and is gonna continue losing time to number 51. Treywick on her own island, 4th place. And Viola, with that cell spin, 3rd place. He is closing in 4.5 seconds to the race leader. So both of them able to roll the center pretty well. Jolene gambling a little bit more with putting her left sides on the painted parts of the apron. I'm gonna try and get a little more rotation doing that. I wonder, assuming that 16 car doesn't spin again, will he interfere with this battle for the lead? Currently tucked in behind Talha. He is 11 laps down. Just here for shits and giggles, I suppose. And has been absent in more recent BPNR races. And he comes back tonight just trying to shake off the rust. Much like David Hinks is. Got a run, just not taking it. I suppose he doesn't want to interfere with them. Check back here, not for position. Either of these two, Viola has pretty much neutralized in the time gained. So while he is 3rd, which is impressive, he is not gaining any time amongst the top 2. This time he is 2 seconds, or 2/10 rather, slower than Talha, and another 10th faster is Jolene, with the race lead coming into the final quarter of this 100 lap race. And as Colin Teague slow got called up for self-spinning, and there was nearly one with Dragons, but he bounces the rear end off the wall, able to save it. Does McGarry's do the same? Yes, he will. And that's just in front of Jolene, putting a little bit of a scare there. Now your job, if you're Talha, now that you cut traffic, you wanna see if any opportunities appear when Jolene tries to go lap these people. You gotta find a door that the 06 leaves open and take advantage of it. But here, this Talha unable to follow the 06 through. He's got to hope that McGoways moves out of the way. He does. Now up next will be Dragons and Colin Teague nearly side by side, not for position against each other, but when you only have 10 cars racing, you might as well find a battle and just play along with it. That's Dragons going for a spin, and he collects Kukulon. And that'll be a caution. Alright, amongst the lap cars has flipped this race on its head. Man, oh man. With just 20 laps to go, this changes everything. 78, he just got 10 laps once more, putting him 4 laps down. He gets loose on entry, bounces back downward towards Kukulon, and just nowhere to go. I think he got tapped in the rear by the 78 as he was coming back down. Bounce, and yeah, rear ends hit each other. So, lead lap cars in the pit lane. This saves Troxel. I believe he is on the lead lap. After his drive-through penalty, he's gonna have to fight his way back up the order. And this also helps Viola after his self-spin. I keep calling it a self-spin, I apologize, but after his spin, he was third place, but was unable to get any time back amongst the top two. He gets himself on an even playing field with Talha and Sims to put him back in a potential race-winning cause. So now it's the lapped cars who are coming in. I believe it is the 510 of Colin Teague who gets the lucky dog. No. Oh, he gets wrecked. With that being McGilvery who turns him. So, with that, I believe the 96 gets the lucky dog. So we'll quickly run on board with a 96, and it drives me they specified left and right lanes. Well, I also want to say, figure out your pit neighbors. Yeah, I presume, well, there's 2 empty, well, blank pit stalls here, so McGarry's at the one closer to turn 1. When both of you having 90, the empty pit stalls, in terms of design, is very difficult to see who is where supposed to be. I thought that was gonna be a wreck, but Colin Teague self-spinning once he cut to the queue. But he'll be restarting towards the back. It's gonna be Tyler Aziz and Jolene Sims in the front row. Troxel and Viola, row number 2. 15 lap shootout, back on the way in North Wilkesboro. And Jolene Sims hasn't really been challenged for the lead in the long run. Down Aziz got his opportunity to get the lead back. Got no one behind him directly to pressure him, and he's going to clear Jolene as she gets a little bit of a swipe from Troxel, recovering from that speeding penalty during the green flag pit cycle, and he's back up to second. When we find these two again, nose to tail, Viola, Treywick, you already punted him once. Better hope you don't do it again. $12 to go. And no more saving, it's just foot to the floor and crank that wheel as much as you can. Single file train being led by Aziz. And Troxel actually just set his fastest lap of the race, but it's going to be that 14 car. He has that short run speed. He currently has the fastest lap, taking it away from Sebastian Kukulon. also works out for Troxel because when he was leading, he able to pull away during that short run, but only was getting caught in the final 15 laps before the pit stops began. And so for him to be back up here, he's got the best strong suit of knowing how to push in the short run. And right now, you just cannot get anywhere close to that 14 car to make a potential move for the race win. Well, he's not gonna move. Maybe Jolene will. Gonna give a nudge to the number 1. And out of the way, Jolene Sims to second. Troxel stuck on the outside. Gonna likely get passed by Viola for third. And B27 who outbreaks. Gonna get clear, nearly getting wrecked by Troxel, who nearly got wrecked by Treywick. Which is short track madness here at North Wilkesboro. Got battle amongst lap cars. Not necessarily on the same lap, but even tempers can flare at 8 all around the grid. That being Troxel spinning. And it'll be a caution. So, I believe I'm correct. This is caution number 4. And this could set up overtime. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, gets a door smack by Treywick and spins back down in front of McGilreath and the other lapped cars trying to fight each other. It sucks for Trox, so I was really hoping he would give another swing at it for the win, but he is sent back to the Shadow Realm. So that leaves Liam Viola to stay out and inherit the race lead. All the other lead-lap cars, well, apart from Teague, who will inherit second place, they all third on back, opting to pit. It's going to be Jolene who wins off the pit lane. Troxel out second, taking 2 tires. As he's third, it'll be McGilreath, then Treywick, and David Hanks, who is already good 4 laps down. So that was a 10-lap run. 10-lap old tires versus fresh Goodyears. So this will indeed be overtime, as we'll go green at lap 101, that being past the scheduled 100 laps. It's going to be choose cone this time. Going to be Viola, who leads us to the restart with Colin TP2. They're both on old rubber. Sims in third, Tyler Aziz in fourth, McGilreath fifth, with Troxel in sixth. It'll be Treywick seventh. Let me look, and be the only 7 cars to finish on lead lap with Dragons, Hinks, and Kukulon. Gonna have to fight amongst themselves. None of them can necessarily pass each other for any additional positions. But we shall see how 7 cars fight each other for this race win. It's going to be overtime. Only 1 attempt. only one attempt of 2-lap shootout. And we are going green at this really strange green flag. The pace car is still on track. We ignore it. 3 wide. Troxel pushes up McElrace into Aziz, and that's a big one down the back straightaway. And they are just getting flung over there. The NR physics being really goofy, but at the white flag now, it's going to be Viola versus Jolene Sims. I believe they cleared an accident just about. That's a 16, just rolling now, but coming off of 4. It was like this at Rockingham, but this time it is Jolene who wins at North Wilkesboro. The top 2 from Rockingham are now inverted. It is Willie Viola who loses to Jolene Sims. And great race that she played out. When Troxel was out of the picture, she was able to pounce on Aziz and get to the lead and led majority of the second half. She burst down just amongst the Appalachian Hill Mountains in North Carolina. And that would be her burnouts. Gonna have to rewind a little bit to grab the finishing order. So it'll be Jolene Sims who wins. It'll be Willie Viola in 2nd, Colin Teagan 3rd. It'll be Ray Chadwick in 4th, Thomas Troxel 5th, Cam McGarry 6th. Final car to finish on lead lap. Then it's Tyler Aziz. Really sucks for him. We Dragons in 8th. It'll be David Hinks in 9th. And Sebastian Kugler in the top 10. Well, Hector Garcia and Lena Lau did not see the checkered flag of the TDNF. Before we go, I do want to look at that final wreck that took place. So weird we start here because the base car didn't pull off the track. That's just by happens when you call the base car in late. Yeah, it was Troxel on the very inside, just pushing up towards McGarry's here. And that's collect just about half the grid there. You see the 14 and 16 as Kugelon and the latter just stuck amongst the rear deck lid of Tala and is now pinned up against the wall here. So with nowhere to go, Aziz is forced to DNF. Just in time for the leaders to go into the final set of corners side by side. See what Kukulon had to see. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up when racing online in NR2003. So there's that replay. We close out here. Well, I guess there's one interview. There's only Kirsten Bell, who didn't race this, so I don't know. Since no one else is coming in, I might as well.
User was moved to your channel.
Kirsten, what do you want?
Hi.
You just here to exist?
Yeah.
Well,
No, yeah, I'm here for an interview. Definitely.
yeah, definitely. Well, what a brilliant race you had indeed, too, huh?
Yeah, it was great. Drove the 16 car. 16 cars. It's the best car. It's so fast. We won the race by like 10 laps. It was absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. Well, you can go die now.
User was moved out of your channel.
It's nothing personal. Well, we shall wrap up. Friday, we got Budweiser Cup Series from Charlotte that should start on time. And also a league where low attendance is pretty much a given. They'll head to Charlotte Moore Speedway for the Coca-Cola 600. Norrell heads to Pocono, where they'll be covered on Cheesefood Media. Essex concludes their regular season from Talladega. Got 8 drivers trying to make their way towards the chase, and it's really sketchy towards the cutoff line. OSCC on Saturday starts off at Pocono. Then IFAR continues their inaugural chase for the Cup from New Hampshire, covered on Cheesefood Media. Sunday, got DSRA heading to North Wilkesboro. If this race is anything to go by, then I don't know what to expect for Sunday's race. So that'll be 9:30, and that will also conclude the first half of the DSRA schedule. Next time, BPNR D2 races, it'll be a collaboration race with D1 for their Charlotte race, the Stars and Stripes 100. That should be 67 laps if I'm not mistaken, but we shall remain to be seen. That'll be covered here at the usual. So, no stream tomorrow, and that also means I can finally get a day off. I had 3 straight days of streaming BPNR races. I'm getting sick of it. So to finally have a day off, I really needed this, not gonna lie. It's like one day I can not open OBS and set up everything just to watch what will probably be a crapshoot. No offense, Lyle. But with that, thank you for tuning in, and until Friday for the Budweiser Cup Series.